cloudy, but feels good.
Oh, you have it. Okay, good.
I always enjoy seeing all of your smiling faces. It makes my day. So thank you for coming, and we'll start the meeting with prayer. Dr. Moore.
Okay, and just a couple of announcements before we begin. And this first one is directed to Randy Hubbard, who is watching from his office. We're done with flags, Randy. You got out of it. Flags until after Memorial Day.
Oh, wow.
Next year.
Saturday's.
We're done. And thanks, many thanks to the people who came and helped us over the last few years. The second thing I need to remind the club is that tomorrow, Bobby Haas goes under the knife for shoulder surgery. He will be out for several weeks doing rehab, and I've already prayed with him, but you might give him a kind word. And when it quits hurting, it'll feel really good. About 6 months. Would you join me in a spirit of prayer? Eternal God, we give you thanks for the blessings of this day, for this club and our work in this community. We give you thanks for the great event that we had Tuesday with the Breakfast with the Stars, and our club was represented with six scholarships to go to students, primarily students who will be the first person in their family to go to college. It's an amazing thing. We give you thanks for that. We give you thanks for the efforts on the flags that paid for the scholarships. We give you thanks for the blessing of this day, for this food. We ask your Spirit to be upon it, to take it to the nourishment of our bodies, and keep us in your peace. In the name of Christ. Amen.
Amen. That's about your scholarship.
Yeah.
Well, named after you.
Yes. The church funded a scholarship when I retired. The doctors Bill and Joan Lamar Pay It Forward scholarship. And the first recipient was a young lady from Singley who's going to North Texas to be a teacher. She's the first person in her family to go to college, and I am just beside myself excited. Because normally you got to be dead. You got to be dead. I'm not.
As President, Robert Alsop is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Robert.
Place your hand over your heart and go to the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we will enjoy God Bless America. Amen.
God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with gold. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Bravo.
Thank you so much. And now our President-elect, soon-to-be president, is going to introduce our guests. Do you have that sheet? Lazaro, you want to? You can go ahead if you'd like. Come on up. Thank you.
All right. Well, we have a couple guests visiting us here today. Alfred Walker. Alfred, thank you for being here. I believe you were here a couple of times, right? Before, you want to tell us just a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. Alfred Walker, local farmers insurance agent, looking to get out in the community and serve, and heard so much about this group. So thanks for having me for the second time.
Thank you. And we just received your application as well on the online portal. So yeah, so he just did it today. A couple earlier today. So they're already members, but we're just waiting to get their pin. We're gonna do that ceremony in a couple more, not this Thursday coming out, one of them's gonna be out of town next Thursday. And that is going to be, one, Sylvia Alvarez, my sister, stand up, Sylvia. Doing the flag program and volunteering. So we're looking forward to seeing what other activities we can do now that, things are kind of getting to a back to new normal, so we can do more in the community. So we also have another guest, Aaron also, guest of Robert also.
Yay!
And we're looking forward to keeping it learning, so make sure you guys keep inviting your friends and prospective members to join us for lunch on Thursdays. That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Yes, Robert.
We have a guest that just came in the room.
Oh,
From the
snap
club.
in on.
Who's looking forward to the end of June also?
And word is out that she can bowl well.
Dance and bowl.
Hey, I was just gonna ask you, Max, would you like to give us a summary of your district conference? I know we had a star there that won an award, and we had another superstar that couldn't attend, but we still believe in both of them and appreciate their involvement.
Thank you, thank you. So we had a great conference this weekend. I know several of you were there. Thank you very much for your support. That really helped make it. Friday night bowling was a blast, and yeah, I got lucky. I got a striped and a square. I bowled in ages and ages. I did tell my aide if there was some way I could switch my bowling score for my golf score, I'd be really, really happy, but they don't let us do that. But I think at the end, and John, correct me, I think because we had, you could sign up for whatever parts you wanted, and I think we must have had at least 130 people all in, give or take. So I know it was over 100 banquet Saturday night. So that's the last big thing I have to plan. I've got a lot of events still to attend. I've got 2 roundtables, but after planning for our conference, roundtable is easy. So appreciate all the support. Thank you for being there.
Robert, would you like to give an update with Breakfast with Stars and the scholarship awards?
I can.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that rounding of applause. What a great event we had, as Crystal said, when she was kicking off the event, that we had a live Breakfast with the Stars in 2 years, in 2019. So it's great to see almost 900 people in the Irving Convention Center. This Rotary Club had 2 tables full of Rotarians and the scholarship recipients. We awarded for the first time the Elaine Free Robinson Scholarship to a student for Cardinal Academy. That student was sitting right next to Elaine, so they had a chance to talk. And Elaine began her career in the Irving School District with career technology education. So it was just neat that how that worked out. And then we awarded the first John Boyle Scholarship. That recipient is a young lady going to Penn State University, and was able to get connected with her with Dallas Burke from the DCUR, which making that scholarship was kind of our arrangement with DCUR. They give us the free rent for the flags, and we made that scholarship in honor of John Boyle. So it really worked out well for both entities. Great turnout for Rotarians, and just an outstanding event. So, and just a reminder to everybody, we do all of that through the funds from the flag program. So as we continue to grow that, and as Rotarians, as we take more of the routes, so that there's less money that has to be paid out to outside entities, and that's more money we can fund right back into the scholarship programs. So let's get with Kathy, take a route, You can do as many as 30 to 50 flags in less than 2 hours. Great way to help the club. So thank you, Madam.
And I believe Kathy Howard has an update with the flag program to share.
Get my pen ready.
Exactly.
I have a report from Rick. This does not agree with my report, but I'm going to give you his report. It's my list. He says that we have 1,158 flags already purchased. And today we have 3 more. Yay. And he said that there's 460 pending. And he's asking if any of us want to take a flag on the Millennium Fountain. He's still looking for donations. Those are $100 each. You get to designate your state. Oh, good. Okay, see, I'm writing down your name.
Another one back there.
All right, thank you.
I think Rick already knows that.
Yeah, we probably. You're good. Okay, thank you very much. Do you all know what state you are? Okay. You too. Jose, what state do you want? Texas. All right. And Robert.
We usually do New Mexico and our father-in-law and Alaska.
The $100 will be added to your Rotary bill, is that okay? And, all right, the other thing, I have a to-do list of many flags. So if anybody wants to install sleeves and stars, that would be cool. We appreciate it. My neighborhood.
See it.
Excuse me. Yes, thank you, Robert, for that little introduction. We do need teams to deliver.
If we could.
So let me know how many you can deliver.
Today, okay, how many flags?
Well, Ryan's gonna take some and he'll get a group together.
Thank you.
Any other individuals right from here, take ownership of delivering, setting up the flags? Let's see how many hands we can get up. We need help.
Excuse me.
Goodness.
Allergic to you all.
Yes, sir.
I will look at the.
Oh, great. Okay.
If you've got some
So, we've got
south,
Richard,
the 3 of us can do it.
Cara,
How about grass?
Linda.
Huh?
Mike,
Grass farms.
Yeah.
Mark.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever you need.
Steady.
So anyone else can help out like Kathy knows, and I know Rick, Kathy, and everyone very involved, Bill, that worked so hard with generating the poles and putting together the flags. Thank you. Anyone else have something you need to share, update
Kathy, we need to
members with?
flag at Lynn, Wisconsin.
Okay, we have a very special speaker today. Oh, I want to point out that our secretary, Tracy, is on Zoom. Yay, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
We're so glad. And we'll soon see you. Thank you. Rod's going to introduce our speaker, which is someone we really look up to and appreciate all of his involvement with leadership and helping us in the future as a leader, president-elect. Well, soon will be, he's president from now, but it's closer to the president-elect position. And we're going to be blessed. Ryan, I'll let you introduce.
Excellent, thank you, everybody. So by show of hands, who in here knows an entrepreneur? Awesome, there we go. So our lives are touched by entrepreneurs, not only in the innovations they make, the businesses they create, but what's really powerful about entrepreneurs is that can-do spirit. That's what I really enjoy about our next speaker, is not only that he creates and he gets things done and puts some energy behind things, but he's just got this can-do attitude that just does not quit. And so I'm really fortunate to call him a Rotarian and a brother and a friend of ours. So please welcome Lazaro.
Well, if you are a member of this club since 2019, you probably heard me talk before about the Irving Marathon in 2020. I think around the same time, I gave a presentation about what the Irving Marathon was then, based on the things that we had achieved up to then. Little did we know that about 15 months later, COVID was going to come and kind of change things around for the organizations that organize events outdoor. So I know some people had it tough and their business took a big hit, but organizations that organize events outdoor couldn't even do that. People were able to relocate to be able to do work on their home offices, different ways to do that. But again, for 12 months, the industry that we are operating in now and that we're operating in before, it was like prohibition, alcohol back in the early 1900s. But that's how we felt for about 12 months. So everything that you could tell that you could do, you have gatherings inside public spaces with 1,000 people, 5,000 people, as long as you met capacity or 50%. For the industry that we operated in for 12 months, we could not operate over 10 people because they were outdoors. So again, that was the logic that we had to endure through what I said we're now becoming an entrepreneur, right? And the things and obstacles that you have to overcome, not only in the sense of what the world is going around, but as an entrepreneur, sometimes you're coming up with the ideas, you have to develop them, you have to take the risk. And on top of taking the risk to be able to do those things, at least you have to believe that there's a way for you to organize and do those things. But again, for 12 months, we could not. It was banned. It was against the law to organize events in the industry that we operated to do what we do. So I just want to show you guys what we were able to accomplish about 2 weeks ago with the 2022 Irving Marathon, our 10th year anniversary. You guys saw another video that they were friends from ICTM put together, but this is what our production team put together. Just want to give you an idea of what happened to get here, right? Which is what I'm going to talk about today in our presentation. But before I do that, I want to show you what we did 2 weeks ago, and some of you guys were there. right, with this event, we started our first elite category, which allows participants to have a fast time and their competitors to come in and run our events at no cost to them, so that we can attract a special field that then allows, in the future be televised, because we're having people that are coming to Irving to compete in what is a very fast event, right? But we also have the community aspect to the marathon, where we had about 80 volunteers at the event. We had about 150, but with 80, we still were able to do pretty well. And then there's also the economic development of what we do as well, which we have about 2,500 participants. About 40% of them were from out of town, so that created hotel revenue, restaurant revenue, and whatnot that allows our community to kind of take advantage of the things that we're doing. And additionally to that, the Irving Marathon, we partnered with the Irving Schools Foundation as urban beneficiary. As you see at the end, I'll show you a picture from this past couple of days event with the Urban Schools Foundation, right at the start, where we awarded 6 scholarships to 6 different students. As it's became a custom that at the end of each event, we present a scholarship that is awarded to a high school senior from the school. So, but just to go back to the presentation, this is what we have built, right? The Irving Marathon running series, that same event that you saw just now, we replicate that 8 times throughout the year. And when we mean that we replicate that, we truly put the same effort. And what we've done is we created a lot of processes, systems, but also the key relationships to be able to replicate that, from being able to have 80 to 150 volunteers every month to come and do this, to having 60 to 80 police officers that are going to be blocking the streets, and there already a protocol to do that, to being able to work with sponsors and vendors and different people in the community that count that. But that part becomes pretty easy, right? The part that becomes a little hard sometimes is getting the runners to come and run, right? Because you're not selling a concert ticket, you're not selling a movie ticket, you're not selling a conference. You're selling something that, or not selling, but you're providing a service that is for somebody that they actually have to be the participant in it as well. So therefore, you got to create a culture. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, about what we've been able to do. But before we go back to that, continue to that, for those of you guys that don't know a little bit about me, I want to share a little bit about kind of how we got started, where the Irving Marathon idea came from, and some of the things that we've done to get us where we're at. So, as you guys know, in 1999, I came to the United States with my little sister here. I went to middle school, 7th grade in Austin. She went to elementary still, and then went to Irving High School, where at Irving, it was a little bit different from the environment that I was used to in El Salvador. In El Salvador, and this is, I actually titled the message of my speech today, "Why is Rotary important?" In El Salvador, we're part of the people that, or students that receive aid from UNICEF, right? Some of the first pairs of shoes that we received were given by UNICEF organizations that went to our schools. And that's kind of how we learned. We don't have electricity until I was 7 years old. So a lot of the playing, we got to do it outside rather than, tablets nowadays, because that was not something that we had around. So we're coming to Irving again. We grew up also out in the countryside, so there was no big city, so it was kind of a little bit different. So, but one of the things that I wanted to do was, now that I was here in this country, we had an opportunity to do something good. So therefore, I knew that I wanted to do that, but how do you get there, right? So, and then this is kind of, and I speak on this and other speeches that I do, but the first thing that I recommend to anybody to do is to figure out what you want to do in life. Once you figure out what you want to do in life, then you can set up a plan and kind of work backwards, right? Work backwards into the things that you need to do in order to get there. And those are some of the things that we're doing. As some of you guys know, one of my main goals in life is to become the president of El Salvador and go help the country. So what I'm doing right now with a lot of things that we're doing, and again, the marathon that you saw the video right now is something that we imagine being able to put together, and then we work backwards on how we're going to construct that. So similar, in a similar way, that's the same thing that we're doing with that goal as well. So with the Irving Marathon running series, what we set out to do is not only to work with the education system, the tourism, working on those relationships, learning how to bring people together, how to communicate effectively with our community, but also how to get people to follow a vision and a dream. So a lot of things that we're doing with the Irving Marathon is, in essence, learning how to put together a bigger plan that we all get to be part of. But again, all of this has to be started somewhere, right? So as a senior year in 2004, like some of the people here as well, I received a Rotary scholarship. And that allowed me to go to college, right? So back in El Salvador, from organizations like Rotary, like UNICEF, I received shoes and food and aid. As a high school student, I still received more aid from organizations like Rotary, like the scholarship. So then that allowed me to go and do other things, right? So now that we're here, what do you call it? Going back to Irving High School. So Irving High School, I was very involved in different things. I was in team court. I knew that, again, early on, I knew that I wanted to become the president of El Salvador, so I knew that I needed to learn how to speak better, how to communicate, how to, learn from different organizations. Let's put it political science and college. And then also I was involved in the cross country, different activities. So after we graduated college with a bunch of other friends that we did those same things in college, and also in high school, we were wanting to see how we could give back to the community more. So that's what we did, and we got together in 2009, 2010 to talk about it. 2012, we actually started the organization, and in 2013, we had the first Irving Marathon. And then this is again what was came from it, but again, it was an idea we had. We worked backwards. So let's go back to the pandemic and how we made it through it. So one of the things that, as Brian mentioned, the idea of the Irving Marathon is, again, it's something you put together, right? But how do you do that? And then when you apply a lot of the different things that I've learned throughout, my life, I worked with AT&T for about 8 years doing sales and management. At that company, I learned how to build teams, how to put people together, I started with them right whenever the iPhone just came out. So learning how to sell that technology and put that together and get people to, adopt something new. Luckily, I worked with a really good team. My first year doing that, I was the #1 salesperson in the entire company of 22,000 people. And then I managed their stores where sometimes I had teams of 50 to 80 people. But doing that, and there's about 2,200 stores. And in doing that for about 3 years, we're stored for the top 3 in the whole country as well. So again, a lot of good training that I received there. So which prepared me to, again, the pandemic when everything got really tough. Because by that time I knew that, in order to run a business, you need to have 4 things, which is people, strategy, cash, and you have to have good execution. So those are the things that we focused on throughout the pandemic that you guys, still come to the meetings or we have Zoom and you see my sometimes new backgrounds that I had on our new events that were coming, and we're really just having events virtually because again, we couldn't do anything in person. So we just found a way to get those things and again build the processes, the procedures, not only just for the events, but also to work with the community, right? So now, whenever somebody comes into our events, 2,500 people came to the last one again. We're hoping to grow that to about 10,000 people in the next 2 to 3 years, right? But what that does, and the things we're building is, so if somebody wants to register to run the half marathon, they'll be able to click a button, and that same button is going to have their room, their breakfast, their package shipped to their house, the registration, maybe a VIP ticket. But all of those things, again, it's something that we got to build with the hotels, the restaurants, the airline industry. So those are process procedures that don't exist on anything that we're doing right now. But again, you look at the finished product, which is what I just mentioned, but then you look at and you go little by little and analyze what it's going to take to do that, and you go and build those relationships. So those are things that we do. Again, with what we've done, we put up together a good platform that allows us to operate, to represent the community in the same manner almost every time, because again, we had the people, we had the cash to do it with, we had the strategy, and we're executing every single month with the same, again, enthusiasm, regardless of how the event went. So that's one of the things that we learned to do. I want to show you 2 other videos. And these are the smaller events again, I say smaller, but the turkey trot video, we had about 1,500 people sign up the very first time that we did it out after COVID. So I'll show you that. Yeah. So prior to that.
What if you could get rid of your kitchen garbage at the push of a button? Hey, I'm Matt from Pila, and I want to introduce you to my friend Lomi.
And it's just part of the things that you do, right? You have signage, you got to signage, anybody can sign. But now, how do you get 2,500 people to sign up for a marathon? Or next event coming up is the, actually, you go back to the next one. There you go. Yeah. So how do you get people to come, right? And that is, well, you create a product and you create a lot all different. I was organizing the 2019 Irving Marathon, and there were another 29 events going on that same weekend, that same day. 29 different events for 5Ks organized by the Neuroscience Society that was having a 5K at a park, or the PTA from Frisco was having a 5K at another different location. So the experiences that were happening across the board for runners that wanted to seriously get into an area of wellness and practice for different reasons, right, was not a uniform one that was happening. So therefore, we wanted to create something that was fun, exciting, that would attract people, but also keep them engaged and serve a bigger purpose in the community that already was being done across the board, but it wasn't being done right. So we created the Irving Marathon running series, and then we found that there was a need for a product because, again, if my friend asked me to go run a 5K and it was run by, and again, I'm just using different names, but an organization that this is not their main purpose, it might just be trying to do a fundraiser. Well, it might be at a park, it might not be correct signage, they might miss a turn, it's just a bad experience, so therefore that doesn't continue to happen, right? I don't want to go into it again. So that's what we set out to do. And again, we found that there's a big need for this. In order for us to name all of our events, we did some research to find out what people search for the most online. So again, all of our approach has been digitally. I do marketing. I'm able to take our 22,000 previous participants that we have right now that I have their email and do target advertising to their social media, for example, right? And as you're doing browsing, you're seeing our ads because I'm sending that to you and putting a message of what we're trying to create that sometimes we forget. So a lot of the times, again, we utilize a lot of things that we do to just keep people inspired. If you want to scroll down. So this is, again, it's a big segment, about 50% of the US population participate in some form of running. So again, if we create a product that is good for them, more people are gonna come. Keep going. And so this is kind of what we did, right? So we've adopted almost a uniform approach of what the participant gets. So the medals that some of you guys have, that's the standard thing of our events. We also have like the event video that you just saw. Again, a lot of organizations are not going to take the time to make a video, right? Because it's not needed for their purpose. Again, we're trying to create a culture of people to do wellness and fitness. So if they see that, and they also see photos, which is also one of the perks, we provide to all the participants free photos. So there's usually 5 to 6 photographers at each race. Once you get done, you can take a selfie and find all the photos, or look for by your bib number that you were assigned, and all your photos load up, and you can download those at no extra cost. Again, then that's free advertising for us, a little higher cost for us, but then the marketing expense that we save because those people are sharing their pictures. And as we grow the systems and processes, right, maybe we get a sponsor to pay for that because now their logo's going on 8,000 or 20,000 photos. Again, those are the things that we're building and doing, but going back to the business model, if you have the right people, you're striving for cash, and you're executing, then you're able to build what we're trying to do. So a couple of the things that we do, we work with the venue there at the Music Factory, so parking is super easy. We changed the theme and the route each time, so it's not the same race each time, so we change it around. And then we work with the restaurants there, so that way, instead of going to, at a park where you're gonna get, I don't know what you get, you actually go to Nosh and Bottle or Reservoir or Kitchen 101, and that's where you get your beer or drinks or pancakes. This is a report card from last year, so you guys know what we did. We were able to go through 7,386 people participated last year in the Irving Marathon. Despite that, about a third of that was still the shutdown. We had about 363 volunteers. We also hired about 312 officers. The officers are $55 an hour times minimum of 4 hours each. For the marathon, sometimes you gotta work 9 or 10 hours. So those bills add up. We also were able to, through the platform, so now the Irving Schools Foundations, anytime somebody registers, they need to donate. All that money goes straight to Crystal Scanios Foundation, and they're able to use it for the food workout program, for the school supplies program that they have, for all the needs that they have. So again, as we grow this year, we're projecting about 16,000 participants. That's 16,000 times people need to donate to the foundation. We personally gave $12,000 last year, 8,000 to the Urban Schools, Beta Squad White Irving Foundation, which then awarded it to the IWORM program for their IWORM program that they have at Irving ISD. And then we awarded a scholarship as well. This year, we're already past that by a lot, but I haven't done that. So, and then what I wanted to leave you guys with is actually one of the pictures in the folder from the scholarship recipients, which again, it's kind of what I wanted to say, why it's very important, right? So in 2014, I received one scholarship, but then 2 weeks ago, because of that scholarship, 2 days ago, because of that scholarship that I received, then we were able to award 6 scholarships. So everything that you guys do, again, is very important. Jerry's gonna pull up here the photo from the people, but sent to Dr. Labor's message earlier, right? A lot of these people are first time going to college. The fact that they get one scholarship, it's not gonna change their college career, but then it allows them to dream of what can be done, right? So, and that's gonna be the last thing I say on that. But I wanted to leave you guys with one thing, so which is how do you become an Irving Marathon advocate so that you can contribute to what we're building here. So the first one, well, so these are the 6 recipients.
Great, good. Great.
So, and again, someone like the one in the corner, the mom, very thankful, right? Her son, and as you can see, some of these recipients, they only got one scholarship, so that they wouldn't have been there had we not done what we're doing right now. So it means a lot to the community what we're doing. But again, how can you become an Irving Marathon advocate? So we contribute and do more on this. One is continue your participation. You can walk, you can run, you can crawl, we have people, hand cyclists, wheelchair, I mean, all of it, because again, Las Colinas is a very, very nice area, very flat. The second one is, inviting your friends, family, and coworkers to, like we call it, join the movement, to start running, participating, so you spread the word to the people that you know. Volunteer at an upcoming event. Again, we usually need between 80 to 150 volunteers. And a lot of you guys already do that, so thank you. The next one is corporate support. Some of you guys might have access to ears of people in different corporations. All of this is financed by pretty much myself. As we are working for more organizations to join the movement, as we call it, a lot of organizations for the last 2 years, again, they have been not able to donate or just be involved in outdoor events because, again, the perception of what that meant, right? Which, if you think about it, you can't be outside unless you in a bad way. So, and the last one is, spread the word to continue to build a healthy community, right? Just let people know the things that we're doing, ways that they can get involved. And I always like to tell people that just because it doesn't exist, it doesn't mean that it can't be built, right? So, a lot of times the way that we made it through a lot of the obstacles was that I also want people and the team that we have is that we don't have a problem, we just haven't found a solution yet. So we got to keep fighting. So that's all I have. And all of this can be found at irvingmarathon.com. All of the videos are there, all the information. We have 7 people on the team now that work behind the scenes to do this. So we're very blessed that we have a very good group of people. Questions?
Great.
Excellent overview, and we appreciate all that Lazaro does to help the Irving community and also help everyone have a quality lifestyle. Thank you. Any announcements, anything else anyone needs to mention or remembers?
Don't forget tonight at La Cima, 5:30 to 7:30, a little fundraiser for our canine companions.
Thank you, Patty. Yes, that will be a very nice event, and all of your donations will make a large difference in many families. So thank you, Pat.
With animals.
Our new meeting will be here next week. We hope to see everyone. And our treasurer, David Harris, will lead us in the four-way test.
Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Okay,
Good to see you.
the meeting is adjourned.